Well, hello, crafty friends. I am so excited that you guys are here this evening. And I hope that you feel like I do, like it's time to get rid of this winter. I mean, it's been going for what feels like a really long time. And I don't know about where you are, but I have heard from friends in Kentucky or North Carolina, friends here anywhere in Ontario, north of us, all of us have been buried with way more snow than in recent years. And I'm telling you, there's nowhere else to put it. We've shoveled as much as we possibly can. Oh my goodness, friends. I am so glad to be here with you tonight. We are going to cover lots and lots of fun things. And especially what I've prepared for this evening is the opportunity to share with you 5 ideas I have. Wait. Look at my blue nails. We're busting the winter blues for real. 5 ideas that I have about busting the winter blues by getting into your craft room. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sherri. And if this is your first time here, well, tell us that in the chat. I'd love to be able to welcome you by name. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and all the fun YouTube things that you can do as we do this. Your comments mean lots to me. It helps me make lots of conversation go on from tonight. So if you haven't already told me where you're watching from, that would be great to know as well too. I always like to keep an eye out for my mom. Her name is Gloria, Mrs. Griffin if you're formal, Glow if you really like it. I feel like she gave me my glow. I hope she's coming tonight, but usually we see her in the chat and then we'll all get to say hi to her as well. But what we're going to do tonight is go over some really great ideas of how to bust the winter blues. Because can we get real for a minute here? It's absolutely depressing to be stuck in a gray, cold, short days, long nights, winter after a while. And you're not alone if you're feeling like that, because I'm positive naturally. I like to be buoyant and excited about things. And even I have sat back and thought, I don't even feel like walking the dog. That's how absolutely blue I have been with these winter blues. But tonight, we're going to put it all aside. Now, a true thing is, when you're a crafter like me, sometimes your mojo gets up and goes instead of gives you the mojo of what you want to do. And I've come up with some ideas that can help you get that mojo back. I'd love to be able to share all of those with you. But before we do, I want to make sure that I go through a couple of fun things here. And something I've really been enjoying this year as we do these live streams is setting an intention. And I do that with a little candle. It just keeps me real and keeps me grounded. Tonight's candle, this is one that's been popular, Wild Fern Balsam. It smells really nice. It's really nice. So I'm just going to light that. And as I light that, what I'd love for you to be thinking about as well is, what are your intentions for this evening? Are you here to learn? Are you here to make friends? Are you here to have some joy in your life? Are you here with me to bust some winter blues? All of those things are welcome this evening, friends. Say hello and chat lots in the chat tonight with each other as well. I'm going to put this candle down over here. I just realized my floral arrangement's in the spot I normally put my candle. So we're gonna just put this a little further away than normal. Here we go. Well, Fern. Because open flames and paper crafting do not match, my friends. They are very, very separate things that you should do. But we've got our intentions set for this evening. Now, I also want to share as we get going tonight, I'll talk about this a little bit more. The creative card share. Yes, guys, this is my wonderful little invention that I have brought to the planet of card sharing. And I am telling you, my partners at Paper Crafters Workshop are incredible. And I'm not just saying that because the owner is also named Sherri. Now, she does only spell her name with one R. I figure that means that because I have two R's, I'm the one that's a little bit extra. I think she'd agree with you too. But Sherri is an incredible store host, has an incredible community built up around her business there, and is absolutely somebody that you want to be able to meet. I can't wait to be with her this weekend at her craft around, sharing all the information about the creative card share. There are already wonderful amounts of friends into that, some wonderful new friends that I have, and some friends from the last card swap that we did that are coming back already. I am so excited to be able to see them as well. I just see that our little girl has logged in. Hello, Miss Lada. I'm glad you're here, Ashley, and I hope you're feeling super well. I did have a funny conversation with your father about how he lost his hair when he was a young man and how that might be coming to be something that you pay attention to in your life too. Feel free to share that story in the chat, Ashley, by all means. Okay, friends. Oh, Becky from Kentucky, I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you are not under snow. Please tell me that the southern states are starting to get less and less snow and none of that white stuff here, Becky. I would love to know that we are in a good place for that. Okay, so friends, something I got to tell you. This is so neat to me, and all in the theme of busting these winter blues, I want to tell you about some new crafty friends that I've made. So if you were here last week, you might have met some of them. I went to a great class, and if you haven't ever been to Two Scrapbooking Friends, they started something new this year. I went to the first one. It was called I think it was called a mini class. Well, last week's video, you can see it on my channel, was about the cards that I made. You can see them right here above me. I made one in the class, and then I came home and I duplicated it. Yes, Ashley, I think you should know the age of your son is 16 now because he can drive. It's my grandson, my first. Okay, so cards that I made. Well, when I was there, I met a wonderful woman named Tammy. And Tammy just seemed like my kind of people. But sometimes when, we're adults, we're not really sure that we can recklessly just make new friends. So we took the whole 90 minutes to craft next to each other and sort of checked each other out kind of subtly as we were going. But by the end, I was ready to give her a huge, big hug. And she has introduced me to some incredible friends sitting across from her. Oh my gosh, we had Margie. Margie was there. And they said to me, and then Jeannie was there. As a Sherri, I appreciate Margie's and Jeannie's and all the E's. And they said, come to our crafting day. And I was like, this is going to be so much fun because I have, Tammy, you're there. Everybody say hi to Tammy. She's really got me going here. Let me tell you. Well, Tammy invited me over. And I can see that my mom just came in as well, too. Mom, I made new friends. Aren't you proud of me? Everybody say hi to my mom. Like I said, she's Mrs. Griffin if you're formal. I've seen Mrs. Gigi called out in the chat before as well. Gloria is her first name. But Glow, which is what she gave me, a personal glow, that's my mom. So, Mom, thanks for being my biggest fan. Okay, back to Tammy, her inviting me and me making friends. I can see Janet is here tonight, one of the first people that was here tonight. We have become table partners. And what that means is that when we go in, she's on one half of the table, I'm on another half of the table. We recently expanded and each took a table at our different crops. And the reason I'm telling you all this is that it is wonderful to have a hobby and a passion that you can make friends through. And I feel so blessed that I have been making friends. In fact, ladies will remember, I tonight's class that I'm doing, or what do I call this, live stream that I'm doing, is with these wonderful little snowmen. I put them together when we were last together for a crop. But I wanted to show you just two little extra things that, my goodness, just touched me so well. So when we first got there in the morning, we were setting up our tables and we get there. And just to give you an image, if you've never gone to a crop before, we bring our own stuff to work with and we bring a project that we're working on. And I've been still kind of learning all of these things. So I've got this beautiful Hawaiian suitcase. It's a full-size suitcase and I pack my stuff into it and I go there and then we start putting everything out. And my goodness, was I ever so pleased to tell you, one of the ladies, I think it was Sylvia, if I'm wrong, and girls, you remember who it was, came by and on each one of our little spots dropped off this cute little packet thematically, good for February love, of the little tissues. And it was just her way of saying like, hey, I'm thinking about you even when I'm not with you. Here's a little treat. And I appreciate that it's calorie free. Yes, I do. I appreciate that it's calorie free. So little tissues. But then another wonderful thing happened. And this was Michelle with one L. And Michelle stopped who just logged in. There she goes. Oh, it was Shirley. Thank you, Shirley, for my tissues. Thank you. So then Michelle says, hey, girls, I found something. Would anybody like this? And if you're not a paper crafter and don't know, this is like, I don't know, maybe a $40 value worth of incredible, incredible daubers. And the daubers actually come, there's a couple things inside this bag. So inside here, see these daubers, they're different colors. And then there's Velcro pieces on them all, which you attach these foam daubers to. And those daubers you use to do your stenciling or your blending and your effects. And God bless Michelle. She had been at a, one of these kind of places that does bins of stuff. Maybe they're purchased like other companies overbuys, and this is something going on sale. Well, she, with her own dollars and her own love and her own heart, saw that she had these. She didn't need them, but she grabbed two and she came and she gave me this one. And I was just so touched to just receive a gift. So I'm telling you, from Shirley and my tissues and Michelle, but the best gift of all is crafting with friends. So I got to say, Tammy, you took a risk by saying, I think she'd be okay to invite to our people. And I thank you for it because there's so much love that I feel because of that. I can't wait to get to use this. And then I also just want to share with you guys tonight, my sister-in-law, who you may have seen, it was before Christmas. She and I did, she's a watercolor painter. So she brought me this card this weekend because we were celebrating my son's girlfriend's birthday. And she just wanted to share some love. And I'm telling you, it reminded me receiving a card is almost as much fun as making a card. So here we go. I absolutely, absolutely love that when you have a passion, you can do it in a way that brings other people into you and really helps bust up this winter blues. Okay, so Luigi and Fred are in the other room. Let's say hi to them because it's always important for our children, one of which is on the phone tonight or on the online tonight. Fred, hello, Freddie. There we are. Look at our snowman we're going to make. Everybody say hi. We're so happy that you're here. And Luigi, who was tremendously sick for about 24 hours this weekend, has made Fred and I turn our sleep schedule upside down. So we're glad that he's feeling back to normal, but he's over there with Fred. Fred's busting the winter blues, but I don't know if you can show the back of your sweater, Fred, but I'll just tell everybody what it says. So it's Snoopy on the front, and on the back, so what's it say on the front? Let it snow. There we go. Let it snow. On the front, it's Snoopy. And then way around on the back of him, Snoopy has been covered with the snow. And he says, let me see, Fred, can we do it? Can you turn? It says something funny like, good Lord, it snowed or something like that. It's Snoopy. Okay, good try, Fred. I can't see it. But anyways, it's about snowing and Snoopy. And we figured it would be very, very fun to have a snowy theme tonight because this is it. After this, I am doing spring and forward. No more snow. That's what's happening here. But Fred, thanks for being here with us tonight. Okay, so coming back here. Let me just check that I've got things. So crafty friends and gifts, I wanted to tell you guys about that. We all said hi to my mom. I want to talk a little bit about the winter blues and the 5 ideas that I have. And then we're going to assemble these snowmen into some cards. And I can't wait to show you what I figured out about these cards because it's a first for me. So it's going to be fun. And I think I saw Claude there. And Claude, I don't know if you remember this tool, but I recently adopted this from Claude. He may not know that yet. He could have just found that out just now, friends, but we'll tell you more as we go. Okay, so let me get to, all right. Hey, Chris, how are you? You had a lot of snow this week. You even had to jumpstart the truck, I believe, didn't you? Okay, so hang on. Let me see where I'm going here. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I'm going to do these 5, and then we're going to craft, and we'll talk about them as we go. But I'm going to show you the first one here, friends. So the first one, and this, I think, we forget about the power of having a clear space. And I was reminded about this because there's a manufacturer who I love. Her name is Gina Kay, and I joined her Facebook group. And I think there's 50,000 people who make cards with Gina Kay in her Facebook group. And I posted a picture of something I was doing to say hello to everybody for the first time. And so many people commented that my desk was too clean. And I had to laugh because at that moment, my desk did seem clean. But let's not be shy here. My desk does not stay clean. Sometimes it looks like the table in the picture here. But my first idea, when the winter blues are getting you down and you're just not crafting in the way that you want to, and you just can't seem to get your creative vibes going, tidying up even a little bit, a small corner, a drawer, anything like that is going to be a great thing to do to help you get your crafting mojo back to where it is. Now, can anybody guess what my next suggestion is going to be of the 5 here? I'm going to tell you right away. I won't make you wait. So call a pal. I was just talking about the wonderful things of having Michelle and Margie and Shirley and Tammy and all the most amazing people, Janet with me, to be able to say hello and to create with. When you are in a bit of a slump, call your friends and invite them over. Even one friend, my friend Erin, who often jumps on the live streams as well to come say hello. She and I do different craft projects at the same time. She comes over, she brings her stuff. She sits on the opposite side of the desk over there where there's space for a friend, and we craft together. And even though we're not doing the same thing, it's joyful. And having somebody to sort of show what you're making to and have them feel giddy and happy and complimentary of what you're doing and you for them really lifts those spirits. So those winter blues start to fall away. Okay, now, is anybody familiar with PHD? That stands for projects half done. I know if you're a crafter, you have projects that are not done yet. Mom, I'm not pointing at you, but I'm pointing at you. Sometimes we start a project and for whatever reason, we don't get to finishing it. Well, did you know that when we have projects that aren't finished yet, they actually are taking up an occupying part of our thinking. And when we're doing that, it's actually not allowing us to let our creativity kind of flow. What that means is that our brains are wired to be able to keep track of all the things on the dashboard. Just like a messy desk, a messy dashboard or a mental dashboard is a really difficult thing to craft around. When you have those blues, being able to say, you know what, all I'm going to do today is finish up something and make it absolutely shine. That will free up your mental space. I know that Margie had brought, get this, and I thought this was absolutely amazing. When we were crafting together last Thursday, she brought over her some card kits that she had not finished from a class. And as she thought about it and looked for it, she actually ended up finding out that it was something she'd had for 15 years in her craft studio. Can you imagine? Just that one little piece of her brain was always somehow in that project. And oh my goodness, it is absolutely such a joy to see her finish them. And they were cute as pie. And also, it was fun to kind of think about how they instructed to do things 10 years ago, even, and how we do them now. I think I see a really nice comment from my daughter, Ashley, here. Crafting together helps inspire new ways of seeing it through. I totally agree with you, baby girl. Absolutely, I do. Okay, so I said that I had 5 of these. Can you remember how many I've done so far? I think that was free. So clear your space, craft with a crew, finish your projects half done, and then this one, you had some music when we were coming up together to start tonight, and that is because when you throw some music on that you like, doesn't matter. Nobody else is crafting in your craft room with you or your craft space with you. You put on what you like, and hey, if you're somewhere public, you can put headphones on. And what you enjoy for music will uplift you and really help you get through some of those crafting roadblocks where you're not sure what to do. That music can inspire you as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier tonight, here's my 5th tip for really busting those winter blues. And then I'm going to give you this one, and we're going to go ahead and turn these snowmen into some cards here tonight. But this is my 5th tip. Send mail. Do you know that while it's joyful for you to make your cards, it is absolutely part of the joy to send that card and know somebody's going to get it and smile. I'm telling you, it was such a great reminder when Suzanne brought me a card this past weekend, because it made me feel so fantastic. Last week, I had mailed out some cards, and do you know, this was a habit that I think is so neat. Friends of mine, as they got them, they took pictures of themselves when they opened it and sent it to me. And I just felt the joy all over again. So these winter blues, they are real. Absolutely, positively. I get weighed down by the short days, by the gray, by the having to lug into your boots and your coats and all these real things. They do weigh you down. And the best thing to do as you are weighed down by that is start shrugging all of that off with your friends and family around you, with your crafting stuff that you absolutely love, and to be able to get creative with some of these 5 tips. So I would love to hear if there's another tip that any of you have that we can all share. Feel free to put that in the chat tonight. And what do you say? Shall we go ahead and get creating? All right, let's do that. I'm going to add another camera here. Let me see if I can do this. And I'm going to take Fred off because he doesn't need to be there. And I'm going to switch me to here. So hello, I'm up in your corner, and I'm going to show you the beauties that I have tonight. So the way this card that we're doing tonight came about is that I was packing up to go to my crop, filling up my little Hawaiian suitcase. Okay, let's be real. It's a big Hawaiian suitcase, filling it up with all sorts of stuff, trying to think about what I would like to make, when this pretty thin little package fell from in between 2 other things. I had completely not known that it was there. I obviously bought this. Can you see how orange the sticker is? On sale. I don't actually even know where exactly I picked this up. I think probably I was in the clearance section at Paper Crafters Workshop, because Crafters Companion is a brand that I have bought there before. And these cute little snowmen just must have called to me at the time, and I thought I would get it, and somehow into my stash it went without ever coming out. But look how cute this is. So it's a die set with some stamps as well. Let me show you. So many beautiful dies. And then these little stamps as well. Let me turn this over so you could see. Let it snow. It's cuddle weather, warm winter wishes. We're going to use a couple of these sentiments tonight, and I built these out. So when I went to my crop on last week, this is what I worked on. I sat there with my little trusty sidekick and I cut out all the pieces. I played with some different colors and I made these little guys here. Can you see them? These little snowmen. I made all of these guys and we're going to turn them into cards tonight because currently they're a project half done. So I want to show you a couple things and then I'm going to show you how we'll make this card. These circles are going to become important. This is just a patterned piece of paper. It's a one-sided patterned piece of paper. If you can see, it's nice and shiny with some silver, what I think look like snowflakes. Now, not long ago, when somebody was cleaning up Claude's house, it could have been Eric. I'm not trying to rat him out here, but I got asked if there was any need in my craft studio for this Martha Stewart Crafts large circle cutter. Never had I ever seen anything like this. And I thought, well, it's something I can give a try too. And I believe when you open it up, it's got all kinds of instructions for you about how to do this. And I don't know if you can see this. Wait, this guy here. See that one? There's like a little Houdini thing I'm going to show you about how we do this. But I thought, okay, I need some circles because to me, snowmen, they call for circles. So I took this little 6x6 piece of paper. Tonight, I'm on top of a piece of foam. Can you see how thick this is? It's a piece of foam because I'm going to use this cutter and it's actually going to cut into the mat as I do this as well too. So I'm only going to do one of these tonight and then the rest of the time we're going to spend chatting and building these little snowman cards. I can't help myself. Do you want to build a snowman? Okay, so the way this works, little piece of paper here. This adjusts so you can make the size of the circle that you're doing. I'm going to go put this big part in the center. I'm going to hold down on this and then I'm going to push down. See, I'm actually lots of pressure. Sorry, little snowman. Lots of pressure. And I'm going to push down and I'm going to circle around. Now here's the yoga part of this where I'm going to switch my hand back over here and then continue around to hopefully have cut out a perfect circle. Okay. I don't know if it's true, but I think there is a proper tool for every job. Eric, I'm sorry I busted you. It's true. I didn't mean to. Claude, you can have it back or come craft with me anytime you want. Actually, Claude, I would like to do a live stream with you at some time. Let's start brainstorming what that would be. Okay. So this little tool took my piece of paper and cut out this perfect circle. Is that just like, it makes me giddy how easy that is. Is that cool? You guys all think that's very cool? I do for sure. Okay, moving that aside now. I cut myself a stack of these because I couldn't really think of how it might be a little bit like watching paint dry if you had to watch me cut out 15 of these circles tonight. So I cut out a couple different sizes and we're going to go ahead. I'm moving this mat because I'm done cutting for right now. I've gotten kind of good now at putting everything within arm's reach of what I'm trying to do here on my desktop while I'm on camera. It's not perfect yet, friends, because I'm a new YouTuber, as many of you know. This past week, I celebrated my 90th video post. Now that's all of the live streams that I've done, plus each week now on Thursdays, I put a video tutorial out there of something that in my crafting adventures I have tried to make, and I hope you will go and watch them and share them with all your friends because it's tons of fun. Okay, a couple of things that we have here. So I'm going to move our little snowmen back in. Look, we got a snow choir going on. Which way is this going? And then I've got some different background pieces here. We've got some large white circles. We've got some solid sparkly circles. I've got some colored sparkly circles. I'm losing my camera angles tonight. And we've got some snowing sort of small circles here. And I'm going to do something that I haven't done before, but I've seen, and I hope it's going to turn out. So I'm taking two circles that are white. This is Hammermill cardstock. I wonder if my camera is upside down. Anyways, upside down to me because I keep seeming to move this way, but you guys are this way. So we'll just work on that. Okay. One of the workhorses in my craft room is this Score Buddy. And here's the idea that I have. I want this to become the card that opens up so you can write the card inside here. And to do that, what I have seen other people do, because these are two separate pieces right now, so that I need to put them together. What I'm going to do is put them, I'm going to do it one at a time, put them in my Score Buddy. And I'm going to be using the red tape on this, which is, it looks like 1/2 inch. Okay, so on my 1/2 inch line that I can see here, and I'm just turning this because then I can move a little bit more freely. On the 1/2 inch score line with my circle all the way at the top and all the way to the side, I'm going to go ahead and score right along here on the top. And you know what? That feels a little narrow now that I look at that and I think about my tape. I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to score it. I'm going to go with this 5/8 mark a little bit wider. Okay, we're going to see if this is going to work, friends. We've got a few of them to do tonight. So, all right, here I go. 5/8. There we go. So I've got 2 of them. Now, what I want to do is build this out as the hinge. So if I'm correct in my thinking, and I think I am, I'm going to come this way. I'm going to take my scissors and put my red tape. Now, red tape is named red tape because it's red, and it is very, very strong. A really, really nice bond that it creates. And I'm going to put down my red tape. And see, I've got just these little pieces that I'm going to trim off around because this is a circle. So that's okay. I'm going to just trim off the little excess. And then I'm going to take the protective film and expose just the tape and the static cling. Can you see that? It's really stuck to me. Okay, so that's the first step. Now I'm going to go ahead with my fold. Let's just crease that. Okay, and now I'm putting my fold and my circle. Let me see if I can get this really nicely done on the camera. So my tape is here. I'm going to put my fold line down on the score line below, and it should line up nicely so that, let's see, I have a card that opens. Okay, now, card that opens, step number 1. Okay, so I've thought of step number 2 here. It's going to be the card that opens. And I think I'm going to try a different method on the next one because I'm not exactly perfect here, but this is paper, not perfection, right? Okay, so here we are. We've got our hinge. We're ready to go. And now I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim the bottom of this card just ever so slightly so that it will stand. Let's hope this works. I did not make a, what do you call it, prototype of this. So we're learning together. Steph, how are you? Steph, I want the record to show I make good on all my promises. I am sending your dad, your granddad, and Fred all to come see you, and they can't wait to be in Florida with you. Is it this week? This week. Well, this weekend, I guess they're coming. Okay, friends, I've cut off that little bottom. Let's see. And now it stands up. Okay, I am pleased to know that the things that happen inside my brain can actually happen right here in our cards as well. Okay, so I think we'll start with this guy because he's so big. And what my imagination told me was the red would be a good thing, but see, this is sort of an ombre red. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to just adhere that. And then we're going to go ahead and do the snow falling as well too. So all I really want here is a bit of the red to show through so that it's going to be nice matchy. Okay, so that means we're going to take some of our double-sided tape and get that nicely around the glitter paper. You could use liquid glue if you prefer, by all means. Here, I'm going for the darker part of the ombre at the bottom of my card. Bottom of my card is where it's cut flat. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the back of my silver foiled paper, which I think looks like snow. And I'm going to just eyeball that to get it into a nice place here. Okay, there we go. So we've got our card, our hinge, it stands, and we're going to take our snowman and we're going to put our snowman just right about, I think we might put him pretty central. Now, I have a couple ideas for a little sentiment to go with him. I'm going to try this. Let's see. So the same red paper that I had at the back I used, and let's see which one of these is smaller, this guy. Okay, so a little punch here with a circle. I previously have stamped this little sentiment. There's nobody like you. Okay, punch that guy out. And now we're going to see if this all comes together. I think I will put this down first. So he'll be down first. And then there's nobody like you. It's going to be there. And then we're going to pop him up. What do you think? Is that cute? I don't know. I think it's pretty cute. Okay, so let's get this little sentiment going first. Again, I'm going to just double-side the tape here. You could be using liquid glue if you prefer that. I'm going up and high on the card here. And I'm going to go with the glue on There's Snow Buddy Like You. Okay, that's there. And now we're going to take our little snowman and add the magic here. And I'm not sure where I put my glue, but I'm thinking, do I want glue or do I want, I know what I want. I know what I pulled out earlier tonight. So there's two things that I've learned since doing this particular one. The little sticks that are the snowman's hands, snowman's arms, see the little branches are tiny, tiny, tiny. I might not use those next time I make these. And the little gloves are kind of heavy on top of it. So we're going to try and we're going to see if we can make this still be something super. And I adhered on the back when I made these some extra support pieces because those were very thin. So that's just a fun little extra piece of what we did. But sometimes it's neat when you're pulling a project back out that you hadn't finished previously to see what you did. That was remarkable and pretty smart. Okay, so I need a couple of these. Steph, I did hear that Fred is going to ask for sous chef Carter's help in perhaps a pizza night. Oh, look at Fred just said it. The pizza, it's coming. You guys are all going to be jealous and hungry at the end of this for certain. Okay, so a couple more little pieces of foam tape on the back here. And for those of us who are watching this as a recording later, which is also wonderful, YouTube appreciates my watch hours when you're here with me live, or when you are watching this later. I just am going to say to somebody who I know couldn't be here tonight because she's at the dentist, hi, Eva, I'm so glad you're watching later. I know you always do, and that just fills me with joy. So thank you. I bet Carter is excited. He is a good little chef, let me tell you. Maybe not unlike his uncle, who I made birthday cake with not long ago. Maybe it was long ago now that I think of it, Chris. But still, we made the birthday cake and you did great. Okay, I've covered this up with tons of, somebody tell me what that's called? Double-sided foam tape. That's what it's called, double-sided foam tape. So I'm just going to take off the backing. I'm going to use my blue nails because those seem to be better, actually. My nails this winter have been dry, short as a result. So sometimes I need a tool and sometimes I can just do it without. We'll do the hybrid version tonight. Okay. So I'm curious, is anybody still heading away for a winter vacation? That's, to me, is another way to get your crafty mojo back. Travel, my friends. I know that I've had, we had a trip to Arizona that didn't quite come as planned. So Fred is really excited to be going to Florida to see Steph. And the family. I mean, you know, mostly you, Steph. Okay, so I've got the backs off of these. I haven't seen my mom say anything in the chat lately. Mom, do you like snowmen? I can't remember if they're something that you're a fan of. Who doesn't like snow buddies? Look at this little guy. Those little hands. Okay, let's take a look, friends. I'm going to bring this up. Okay, there's nobody like you. We've got our little snowman, our red echo wing, his hat and scarf. When I did this, I used a white jelly pen to kind of get some of those cute little extras in there. So it's got that nice zhuzh. I've got plenty of space to write a nice little sentiment inside. And I think I might even consider getting a snowflake or something for the back. So there's nobody like you. What do you think, guys? Is that the good stuff right there? Yeah, that is it. And I love how he's standing up. Okay, so that's Snowbody Like You, number 1. Okay, let's take a little vote here on our colors. So we've got Top Hat Blue. We're going to call him number 1. We've got pinks with polka dots, number 2. And then we've got, I'm not sure if my bubble's in the wrong place. Definitely have something going on with my camera tonight, friends. Okay, so my top hat, call him number 1. My pink dots, call him number 2. I think it could be a her too. Blue stripes can be number 3. And then this purple guy could be number 4. So which color should we do next, friends? Feel free to tell me number 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm going to just clean up while you guys vote for that. How am I making the envelopes? That's a whole other video. So these envelopes are going to be 6x6 squares. You can buy those, but I particularly like making envelopes. So when I make something that's a funny shape or size, and these ones, essentially the back circle is 6 inches, just a little shy of 6 inches. So the way that I'll do it is to make it with a cool tool that I have by the same people that make this cutting guillotine that I love. So we are memory keepers, and I will do a video on it, I promise you. Well, I love this chat. Has each one of you have picked something different? So we've got 4 different snowmen and 4 different ways to go. While you guys are duking it, you can never go wrong with snowmen. Absolutely, Tammy. Where did I see this? I agree with you. Snowmen for the win. They are my absolute favorite. Okay, so all right. So I'm going to try a slightly different approach this time. I'm going to see if I can just make that hinge a little bit bigger. I'm going to go for the gold with a 3/4 inch mark here. And if you didn't already see, I've got both of these stacked up here. Hey, Marlene, it's so great to have you here. All right, I'm scoring through 2 very heavy pieces of cardstock. I don't think that worked at all. We're going to do the next one underneath. 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to score this one here as well. Nice and firm on my score buddy. And then where I did it on the first one faintly, I'm going to just come back and rescore that one. Okay, so 3/4 inch score line. And we're good. Okay. So remember the last one that I did it. I put my tape down first and then tried to figure it out. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. So I've got my 2 circles. And as I've got my 2 circles with my score lines, I'm going to fold them both up at the same time here. And what that reveals to me is that that's not a good idea because I had it scored in a different spot. It's only paper. We're just going to go for it. Okay. So, all right, friends. There we go. So now I've got this. See how I've got this as sort of a little lip that we're doing it? I think that's going to be my way of making this work even better. I do have a thought for another time that I will try. And I learned this similar technique from Megan Andrews on a Stamp and Scrapbook Today, one of their card kits that was amazing. She took a shape of a Santa and ran the Santa through without going fully over the top of his hat, and it became a folding card. Also, there's a video of that. You can go. I will try and remember to do that. Tammy, you are my favorite administrator now. There are 3 at 3 for number 1. Okay, we're going with number 1. It's going to be there, friends. Okay, so first piece again here, what I'm going to do is put my red tape down to hold these 2 pieces together to make my hinged card. And hey, Chris, I didn't ask you, are you going to be in Florida or are you going to be home in North Carolina working like the man that I know you are? Because it would be awfully fun to have all of you down there. Oh, Janet, I'm glad you're here. I have to say that the card swap we're doing has a theme. Janet, I believe you're the one responsible for the theme, and it's one I haven't done before. If you in the chat, Janet, feel like telling everybody what the theme is, I'm all for having everybody know. But I'll let you do the reveal if you like. Okay, so red tape cover is off. Now, I feel like if I get my circles nicely aligned everywhere else, I will be able to land this and stick the landing really nicely on the hinge, because the last 2 I didn't get perfectly aligned. Oh, look at that, friends. Perfectly aligned. Yay! I did it. Okay, so we now have our hinged card. Remember, next thing we're going to do is just a little piece of the bottom. We're going to come off. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just enough for it to stand. Let's see if that's enough. Open that up. Wait, got to open the hinge a little bit more. And it stands. Okay, so we've got that. We've got to move our pieces over here. Okay, so we decided we're going to go with little snowman here in the blue. And I really like how this sort of purple ombre one comes out. But I'd like you guys to choose, because you're the boss of making this. We're making this together. Here is silver, and what the silver looks like with the snow. Wait, I have the wrong size one there. Okay, so silver with our snowman and his top hat. That's what it looks like with silver. Let me hold that up a little bit more to this camera so you can see There we go. That's what silver looks like with this guy. Or shall we go for this sparkly blue and the silver? That's what this one looks like. What do you think, guys? Should we go? Let me show you both of them solid. All right. Number 1 for silver. Number 2 for ombre. This is a bit purpley blue. Very, very cute. Very, very cute. And you know what, Ashley, I saw you say, I totally agree. If I can figure out how to make these into snow globes, I will do that. That is something, in fact, maybe Ashley, you could come over and we could do that together. Just hop a quick flight all the way down to Ontario and you'll be there. Oh, I got to go with what Mom says. Mom says silver. Don't know if you guys know this, but my mom is a cake decorator, a sugar artist, in fact, teaches around the world, judges, all kinds of great things like that. And I trust her judgment implicitly. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the silver. I'm going to get that double-sided tape down. It's a nice heavy glitter cardstock. So I'm going to use quite a bit of the tape on here. We're going to go ahead and do the silver right on it. There we go, is layer number 1. Then coming in with our snowy silver. I picked up the wrong size again. Here he is. Snowy silver. Now this would also be another nice place. We could lift up this one, but because it's paper, not cardstock, I tend to make that lay flat when I am doing layers like this instead of dimensional foam. But we'll put some dimensional foam behind the snowman again. Okay. So are you guys feeling like we have totally busted some winter blues this evening? Dan, I only saw your text later today, and if you've already had your meeting, I know it went perfectly because you are an amazing leader that others choose to follow. There you go. That's my thing for Dan. Traffic. What do you mean traffic? Where were you? You were working and you came home. Dan, I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you for being here. Okay, so snowman number 2. Now, our first snowman had, there's nobody like you. This one, we're going to do slightly different. Take time to chase the snowflakes. All right, that's this one. Okay, here we go. Want a little bit of leeway. Sometimes it's nice when you're getting ready to make cards to do a bunch of elements and then just do assembly. I'm doing that tonight for the sake of some TV magic because, of course, you know, I'm totally new at learning all this wonderful YouTube stuff. Okay, so take time to chase the snowflake seems a little bit big. I'm going to trim it down a bit, and I wonder, would it be okay if I trimmed it down and it was down here a little bit? I think we could try it. What do you think? Am I losing too much fun with my snowman? Should I try the other one and put Snow Buddy next to him? Maybe I can move him over a little bit. What do we think? Is that cute there on the side? I for sure need you guys to know and understand one of the cameras I'm using tonight is absolutely upside down, which is why I keep moving everything the wrong way. So let's see what my mom is saying here. How about using mitts on the inside of the card? That's a great idea, Mom. Actually, the mitts would be very cute on the inside of the card. Oh, Mom, you've just given me an idea. What if I just took off his branches? Then this would fit because I could move him over quite a bit more. That's what we're going to do. Okay. I don't know if that's exactly what you meant, Mom, but I'm here for you. And look at other people also love the idea. That's your beautiful granddaughter there. Okay, Janet, sarcastic with old stuff, nothing new. Use your stash. Okay, let me explain what Janet's talking about. There is I would say, a truth that as in I took off one little arm, don't worry, no snowmen were actually injured in the making of this card. That the truth is that we all try and buy lots and lots of new stuff. And it's great to have new stuff come out, great innovations. I love it. But sometimes you get a little overwhelmed. And just like I found, where is it? I found I don't know where it is, friends, but the package when I was packing up. I have never made these snowmen before. I felt like I bought it with great intention, but then didn't get around to that intention. And I really wanted to fix that. So what I am being encouraged by Janet to do for a swap that we're in is use what you already have, nothing new. And I think, what did we say that so it's sarcastic. So I'm a very sarcastic person. I'm not particularly good at putting sarcasm into my cards, but I'll try. For you, Janet, I will try. Okay, so now I feel like my sentiment fits nicely. I could get a little bit extra and put a little silver around the sentiment as well, but we're not going to go there tonight. We're going to put this guy on, and let me get this right. So I'm going to put down, I think this could use a little trimming, so let me do that. I'm going to do that just a tiny bit on each side. Okay, that's one side, and that's the other side. And I do want to take a little off the top. Okay, here we go. So I think this Thursday's upload, my video of the week this week, is going to be on masculine cards. They're not always easy to do, but I have a brother and an uncle with birthdays this week who I would like to give cards to. And so I thought that's a pretty good excuse to make some cards for the men who I love. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I like the way that's positioning. Are you guys liking this guy? Is he coming out cute? His little hat, even though he doesn't have any little snow gloves and snow arms right now. I'm going to go ahead and put the sentiment down first. And I'm going to go as far to the silver as I can on here. Get that down. And then we're going to put lots and lots of this beautiful double-sided tape on the snowman itself. Get him right down there. Awesome. Okay, friends, what do we think? So take time to chase the snowflakes. Now it's interesting. So I know the camera is backwards because I believe this is backwards to you guys right now, right? Like if I show it to this camera, see if I can do that, maybe. You can see it straightforward, but here it's written backwards. It's because I have the camera upside down. Who knew? Who knew? Not me. I'm new at all this, friends. Okay, so there is our second card. Get that nice hinge open so it stands up beautifully. So we've got these two. Here we go. These two cards, pretty different, but the same package that we did it. And Mom, you had said, what about putting the mittens on the inside? And I feel like these are really little mittens when they don't have the snowman on them, but it might be, I could just do that. It looks right for you. Oh, okay, then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just having trouble tonight and there's nothing upside down in my world. Maybe that's just it. Okay, what do we think? Are these too cute to leave out? Should I put them at the bottom of the card here? I think so. I think that's pretty cute, right? I think so. I feel like glue is going to be the right thing, and I'm not necessarily aware of where my glue is. I found it. Okay, found the glue, priming the glue. Talk amongst yourselves while I figure out which one of my little pins is available. Okay. Okay, we're going to put the little gloves down inside the card like my mom suggested. Okay, here we go. A little bit of glue. I'm not using this tool correctly. There's a rest that I should have put on it just now. Well, friends, sometimes when you're on camera, the pressure is real. Okay, so there's one. I really like how this matches my manicure today. I am not really, normally I'm a red, pink, and kind of coral color nail girl. I don't usually do odd colors out there. Sometimes my good friend Sydney challenges me and I get a little further out than my comfort zone. Should I cross these over? I'm going to put this a little further. And I try a color like blue. And today I just couldn't help it with the theme of busting up the winter blues. So there we go. Okay, so we got our little snowman on the outside. Take time to chase the snowflakes. We got our little gloves on the inside. I really feel like this card has come together nicely. And we're ready to do one more. But just before we do, I want to tell you about something very near and dear to my heart. I mentioned it earlier, but let's talk about it again, friends. So there are lots of different types of card swaps that exist out there, but the one that I have created is really meant to be a community activity. We did the first one in November from and Paper Crafters Workshop. is the host store. So they hold the registration. You can go on their website. Give me a second and I will put their website on the bottom here. So you can go on their website and go to their calendar or their classes and see the creative card share that's there. Now, the way the creative card share works, very simple and meant to be really joyful. Let me change which camera I am so I can talk for a second. There we go. We'll be right back with our snowman in a second. So the way it works is simple. You're going to make 4 cards, or you're going to take some from your stash. A lot of people last time took 2 from their stash and made 2 new ones. The theme for this one is birthday cards. Last one we did not have did not have a theme. You can make any cards, but you're going to make 4 cards and you're going to get 4 cards. But it's not exactly a traditional swap. Here's how it works. You're going to be given 2 people's names, and you're going to send 2 of your cards to one person and 2 of your cards to another person. But then guess what? Your name is going to go to 2 other people. So now you're going to get 2 cards from another person and 2 cards from yet another person, which means that in your group of swap partners, there's 5 of you, yourself, the 2 that you send it to, and the 2 that send it to you. But through the entire community, which is about 40 or 50 people, we have a Facebook group. And in the Facebook group, we share photos of all of our wonderful makes. And Sherri and I do live little tutorials and classes throughout. It's tons of fun. So you have the whole month to be in the Facebook group, learning, sharing, inspiring each other. And you only have to make 4 cards, and you're more than welcome to use cards from your stash already. So if you are even a tiny bit interested, Sherri has kept the registration very low. It's $5, and there's tons and tons of value within that $5. We would love to have you join. We have registration open now until the 4th of March, which is when the first kickoff is. Again, you can go to the website and register. Sherri is doing the first class, and we'll do that live on March 4th. It's there in the Facebook group if you can't make that actual date. And then yours truly right here is going to, on March 25th, do the virtual wrap party and do a really fun class for you guys then as well. Sherri makes it so, so wonderful to be part of this community. I am sure you're going to be inspired. So I hope you'll consider it and help me grow my little business into something that's going to be really magnificent for all of us. Okay, let's get back to, let me see if I've got this camera. There we go. We've got that. I'm going to sit here for like this for this one. Okay, so we've got our first 2 that we've done. I'm going to make 1 more before we go tonight so that I have these little projects done. I think, goodness me, I don't know what's wrong with my brain and the movement tonight. I think since we have a blue and we have a red, I feel like we won't do this blue one. So if you guys will let me know in the chat, should we do pink with polka dots or beautiful plain lavender here? So number 1 for pink with polka dots, number 2 for the lavender type one here. I'm going to get you guys to do that, and I'm moving this guy off so that he can be over here with his friends. Number 1 for pink polka dots, go ahead. And number 2 for this little guy here. And we could, if we wanted to, drop the circle cards and make something square. But since I've already cut out all the circles, we're going to keep going with my circle theme here. So, and I'll remind you that I have a purpley, what's that called? Glitter page for the background, and a silver one as well. So we can choose from those. And actually, maybe this time, instead of the snowflakes, does it look good without the snowflakes? That does look pretty nice, doesn't it? Okay, so number 1, pink snowflakes. That's who's going to win. I'm just going to call it there. Now what we have to decide is, do we want to do our snow flurry with the snowman in front of it? Do we want it like that? Or do we want to do, hang on, let me just make 2 of them up so you can see. So here is silver, snowflakes, pink with polka dots, or just silver. And did we decide silver already? I might be getting ahead of myself. Did we decide silver already, or do we feel like we want to do this? No, I think that's for the other guy. So we're going to do silver. I made the decision, even if I didn't ask you. I apologize. Okay, so now what we have to decide is snowman on the snowflakes with the silver, or snowman on just the silver. Should we go for the gold? Let's call with snowflakes number 1. And without snowflakes, just the glitter, number 2. Number 1, number 2. Go ahead and vote for which way we should make the snowman done. While you're doing that voting, I'm going to put our last 2 cards together with my hinge figuring out my hinge and getting better every time. It's good to try something new. It's good to be able to see how things come together and to challenge ourselves a little bit. Okay, so I see silver in the lead. You guys make sure that you keep voting here. And I'm going to go ahead with 3/4 of an inch right there. Score that on top and bottom. 3/4 of the inch. Score that there. Okay. Put our score buddy aside and bring out our tape. I see just silver sort of might be in the lead here. I'm going to go ahead and give that its bend. Okay. Now, the other thing that's really important as I grow my little business here is to celebrate the small milestones here. So let me tell you guys, I started this out with 0 subscribers, as you can imagine, all YouTube channels do. And here we are just a few months later at 241 wonderful subscribers. To become part of the YouTube paid partner program, which is what I aspire to do, you need to have 500 and then more for the first sort of level or clip, if you will, before they will consider inviting you in. So I'm nearly halfway to my goal of the first 500 subscribers. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. If you know anybody who is crafty or just enjoys lovely, entertaining conversations like the one we're having tonight, please share this with them so that they can consider subscribing, because it truly makes a huge difference on my business goals for becoming a content creator and an influencer and bringing my passion of building a community around paper crafting out to all of you. So, all right, here we go. Third and final card, home run stretch. The static is real. The little red tape is sticking to me. Okay, let's try this again. Remember, I last time figured out I need to get the circle all lined up nicely. And then the score has to be the same. And I think, 2 times in a row, I nailed it, friends. Look, whee! Okay, so I heard Steph say just silver. We're going with the gold here. Well, the silver, actually. And I'm going to move this one all the way out to the side. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. You guys know the steps by now. We've got them all. And if you could, when you are watching this, now we're commenting all throughout the evening here in the chat, but did you know when you watch the videos that I put out there, when you put a comment into them, that is like gold. It's actually one of the metrics that ultimately YouTube pays its creators to get, because it shows great engagement and that you're paying attention and that you're here. And by doing that, you are helping the content creators that you know and love, like me, to create the way that they want to be able to create. It's sort of like if you were at a restaurant and you were tipping your server, or if you were saw a busker and you gave some money in their guitar case, those sorts of ideas. That is how YouTube measures one of the forms of payment for you. So I would welcome you guys to put your comments into the chat. Not that anybody's paying me yet. Let's be clear. I am neither sponsored nor paid by anybody for these efforts yet. I do hope to change that. Okay, let's get There's Nobody Like You. Cut out my little circle. It's going to be our sentiment on this one. And it's going to be sort of like a little snowball around them. Move this guy over a bit. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? Do I want to pop that up? No, I'm going to put that down. Yeah, I'm going to put it there. Okay, here we go. Now, I think I would like to get to the point where I have prizes and goodies that I can send to folks. I'm not quite there yet, because I know there's rules in the YouTube world about how that gets done, and I haven't researched them yet to entirely know yet, but I will. And eventually I'll get to a point where there'll be prizes for things. So even though there's no prizes tonight, I am curious if there's anybody in the chat. Look at Chris, I love you. Not yet. You're right, brother. Who can remember any of the 5, there's my blue nail polish for tonight, any of the 5 winter blues busting ways to get back into your craft room that I suggested tonight. While I get the tape ready on this snow person, I'd love to see in the chat if any of you remember any of them. I'll give you a hint. There's a really easy one. It's one that I like a lot. craft to a beat. Put some music on. If you're feeling the winter blues, get some music that you love, just kind of pumping in the background or through your headphones or whatever it is that makes you happy with music, and get that music flowing, because music helps the creative part of our brain kick into gear. So that's one of them. Okay, got to get some little guys on the gloves here. And look at that. I knew you'd have that. Absolutely, it's true. It's important to be able to get that music going. So somebody got one of those ones here. Let's see. Projects half done. So PhD, projects half done. And look at, we got a bunch of you guys who knew that that was one of them. What else, guys? That's 2 of them. I wonder if you can get to all 5 of them. I bet you can. Projects half done. I bet you can get to the other ones. I would love it if you did while I'm doing this. Okay. Don't mean to be silent for a minute here, but I'm trying to read the chat and craft at the same time. Okay, I got my little glue on the little pieces here. And I just want to come up into, where do I have this? Here's one. Oh, this is a good one, guys. When you make a card, of course, you're making it and you want to give it to somebody. And there's so much joy that they receive from getting something handmade. Maybe you've made something very custom for them that has their personality all over it, which is great, but they love receiving it. But I'm telling you, friends, when you give a card, you also feel good all over again with the happy mail that you have. So that's one of them. Okay, so we've got craft to a beat. That's the music. We've got the finish your projects half done, PhDs. We have this one, craft with a crew. Call your friends, just like Aaron and I. We make it just something for the 2 of us. We love being able to do it together. And it turns out to be so much fun, even if we're crafting on totally separate things that aren't the same. It still enlivens your crafting experience. All right, let me just get these guys. I'm going to come back out to be me here, and let's show you. Okay, so our first one was this beauty with the red going on here. There's nobody like you. So that's number 1 that we did. Number 2, with our hinge got improved on the second one. Don't be afraid to try new things. It's paper, right? So we're going to be okay. So there's number 2. And this one says, take time to chase the snowflakes. There's number 2. And then just on the full silver, thank you, Steph, for suggesting that we did that one. It looks beautiful with the pink. And don't forget, on the inside of this one, we also did my mom's suggestion, who is my biggest fan, of the little mittens inside. So here we go, friends. We have got 3 beautiful little snowmen here that went from being projects half done with stuff that was already in my stash to being fully completed and ready to go out in these final days of winters, because I definitely want to send some happy mail out to friends. Well, if nobody has told you yet, you have permission to create. And I hope that you know that when we do creative things, we are improving our mental health, our well-being. When you do it with other people, our social being is being treated well as well. And it's a fabulous way to really tap into all of that neuroplasticity you need to stay young and make sure that you are achieving vitality in your life as well. So friends, I am so glad for you being here tonight. Thank you so much. Make sure that you share, like, and subscribe, but also take a look this Thursday. I've got that video coming out every week, and I'll see you back here next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, for our live stream. I appreciate you all. Thanks, friends.